Welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet. I'm Sinead.
And I'm Nick.
And this is your weekly podcast exploring the lives of the great poisoners, the macabre murders from across the centuries, and creating curious cocktails inspired by the tales that we tell. And it's episode 55!
Season 2, episode 3.
Yes, Nick will always... You'll keep count of season 2. I will just keep going because I'm going, oh, it's such a big number. 55. No one's been alive for that long. It's too impressive. Yes. How are you, Nick?
I'm alright. I'm on holiday. Not at work, so that's quite pleasant.
That's what a holiday is these days, isn't it? It's
generally,
just...
I'm not gone anywhere. I've not left the house, but I'm not at work.
As Patreon subscribers will know that Nick has been extremely excited all week about doing some DIY around his house.
Oh, it's been a productive day. Now, if you're not careful, everyone on the main episode will also get to listen to all the exciting things happening in my house.
Nick, people are gripping their cocoa that is laced with rum, wanting to know what shit has gone down in your living room.
It's exciting. I've got a big old new mirror on the fireplace. I've got some plants.
Ooh.
Got new curtains and a new curtain rail that went up. Got some new pictures. It's very, very exciting.
It is.
Sinead's laughing at me again.
When I think of the curtains, because I know they're kind of, you've gotten voile and stuff, and I think of the line from Ab Fab about like swathes of sort of white voile and muslin and terracotta pots. So I think I just picture your living room like that now.
Pretty much. That's what it is.
Well, that's very nice.
And it's delightful. I'm very happy.
I have done no DIY because I twisted my ankle on Monday. And
Are you still milking the twisted ankle?
It's still pretty damn swollen, my one, but I can take drugs now, so it's fine.
Oh, that's okay. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, not for the ankle, just for fun. Any poisonings this week?
No, I say I haven't been out, so...
No, been far too busy focused on the DIY.
I've been far too busy levelling pictures and things like that. And going, ooh, there, or there.
Oh, you see, you're one of those people... And this is, again, why I get you round to help me if I do any DIY in the house. You're the sort of person who levels pictures, who gets out a spirit level.
I have had the spirit level out.
You measure shit. That's what you do.
Yeah. I've got 3 pictures, part of a sequence, and they need to be equally spaced apart. Yeah. Of course you've got to measure shit.
I just sort of do it vaguely by...
You just bang nails into walls and see what happens.
Yeah, yes. Pray I don't hit a pipe.
Well, yeah, exactly. Such things happen.
Yes, that's why I texted you after I laid my bathroom floor and went, oh God, this should never have been attempted by me alone. Well, there's no poisonings, just beautiful, beautiful furnishings.
Just beautiful, delightful
So you now have a very nice poisoning parlour to welcome people in when lockdown ends.
I do, yes.
Ah, lovely. Well, speaking of poisoning people in our parlours, I think it's time for us to thank our lovely Patreon subscribers.
Well, indeed. Yes, the extra special person, thank you so much to Bronwyn Cole for joining us on this exciting Patreon adventure.
Thank you, Bronwyn. You're very welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet Patreon episodes. Thank you to everyone who's enjoying Patreon at the moment. Had a very good story this week, and some of you will have seen it on stories. I'm surprised how many people responded when I shared that god-awful picture of the story we covered on Patreon this week, and everyone knew what it was, and I didn't.
Yes.
Well, Nick.
Yeah.
Are you ready? To drink cocktails and talk about poison?
I mean, it's been a week since I've last had a cocktail, so.
Or we could drink poison and talk about cocktails.
No, I want a cocktail.
We'll go with the first one.
Yes.
Go with the first one.
Yes,
also, lies about your cocktail business, because betwixt last week's episode and this, you've had a birthday, haven't you?
I have had an oldening.
An oldening. That's a bit like the quickening, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a much more dramatic approach to a birthday.
The oldening. My back hurts a little bit more. Right?
Yes.
Those young people need to shush.
It takes me an extra 10 seconds to get up from chairs now.
Well, happy birthday for last weekend, Nick. Yay!
Thank you.
But yes, it's definitely time for you to have a cocktail, because we can't possibly tell a story without a cocktail in hand. As you know, each week, dear listeners, we pick a secret ingredient that is inspired by the tale that we tell that will flavour our cocktail of the week. So this week is Nick's story. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Yes.
And he got to choose the secret ingredient this week.
Now, see, I'm annoyed by the grumblings coming out of you from this one, I have to say. What's all that about?
Okay, why don't you reveal to the lovely people what this week's secret ingredient is?
It is a bullet.
A bullet.
Yes.
Not a court in the land would convict me of my sarcasm. If they could still try for such things. I'm sure that's under the list of reasons a woman's a witch. Sarcasm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, come on, it's not a traditional ingredient, is it? Served with a bullet.
Come on, how many of our things have been traditional ingredients? Love and art and all that bollocks.
Sicily is the bloody one that started it.
So no, I think I'm entirely justified.
We love an inspiration as well as an ingredient.
And if I'm not, I don't care. So, because I've done it.
Bullet's quite sexy though, yeah. Bullet.
Is it?
Number one with a bullet. Hello with a bullet.
Hello, you're dead with a bullet.
Yes, that's an expression, isn't it? Something with a bullet.
I don't know.
To make a point. When you just shoot people, that's what you do.
That makes a point, yeah.
It does make a point. I find it works well. So with a bullet as your ingredient / inspiration.
Yes.
What have you come up with?
Well, we are having a man-o'-war.
A man-o'-war?
Yes.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Now, man-o'-war. Jellyfish?
Jellyfish, yes, jellyfish, and a big boat.
Oh, a man-o'-war is a boat as well. I
Yes.
just went for jellyfish.
You went to a jellyfish? Jellyfish works?
I was going to say octopus, actually. An octopus would be a man-of-war. It's fighty. But it's not that. It's not that. It's a jellyfish. Oh, a man-of-war. And deadly. Deadly, isn't it?
Well, indeed.
Oh,
Yes,
I like
poisonous
it.
and scary.
I'm intrigued. And the thing is, a man-of-war would use a bullet.
Yes, it would, yes.
Have you only just figured that out?
No, that wasn't the link I was going with, but you're absolutely right.
Oh, okay, that wasn't the link.
There would be plenty of bullets aboard a fighting ship.
He just had the one. I like the idea if he just brought the one along with him, going,
I
yes,
just brought
here we
the
go.
one.
I've got my bullet. Why do you guys all have more? So, Man of War, very exciting. Nick has sent me a list of instructions this week, so I think it's time for us to go into our isolation kitchens and shake up a storm. So we'll see you in a minute.
We'll see you in a bit.
And we're back.
Hello.
So, a man of war, Nick.
Man of war.
Man of war. He's a man of war.
Indeed.
He's seen some things, him and his bullet.
His one bullet.
His one bullet. It's his trusty sidekick. He takes it along and holds it along. Me and my bullet. No one will go to war with him because he's mental. Now, it's a brown drink.
It's a brown drink.
It's a brown drink, and we have success with brown drinks in the past.
Yeah, sort of a brownie, a hint of
Amber?
oranginess. Yeah, an ambery coloured drink.
Amber
I like
drink.
that,
Maybe
yes.
we should start calling them amber drinks rather than just brown. But yes, it looks nice. It's quite long. So obviously we're not allowed to know what's in it, so we have to do the tasty first.
Tasty.
Okay, so we're going to dive in and taste. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's
Yes,
pleasant.
that is booze.
It's boozy. It's pleasant. I like that.
Oh, I do like that. It's quite strong.
Well, yes, it is. Ooh, yeah.
Oh my, sir, you have come on quite strong. You are most bold, sir. Yes, okay, I like that. That seems to have all the things in it that I like.
It does indeed have things in it.
Oh, it does. Oh, thank God. I'm not just drinking air.
Very true. So well done you for guessing that.
Yeah, I like it. I'm thinking bourbon is in here, so.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
So
yum.
we have indeed. We've gone for bullet bourbon.
What?
Is our bourbon of choice. That's what I have in the poisonous cabinet.
So we're going with brand names now.
Yes. Oh, Bison vodka. Yeah, you started this.
Oh, I blocked that out of my mind.
And your ingredient was bison grass vodka, so you can fuck off.
Perfectly justified. Bison that roam.
Yeah, so don't you give me any of that.
All right, fine. Bullet bourbon, delicious bourbon, one of my
Delicious.
favourites.
Absolutely. So it's the staple for the cupboard.
Okay, so we got bullet bourbon.
So
Great
we've got
start.
bullet bourbon. We have triple sec, so an orangey twang going on there. Twang. A red vermouth, a sweet vermouth. A lemon juice, and a dash of sugar as well.
It is lovely. This is
And
nice.
it is lovely. Well, considering, we're generally quite a fan of the bourbon drink, so the Red Hook has gone down very well in the past, which is bourbon, red vermouth, and maraschino, so you get your fruity element from that. And then, Manhattan with the bourbon and red vermouth. You enjoy Belvedere, which is, again, bourbon and red vermouth and Campari. So,
Bourbon and red vermouth. It's a marriage made in heaven.
absolutely. There's definitely a theme going on.
Yeah, and I think we've done another bourbon cocktail before with lemon juice in it, and it does work. You think it's bourbon is kind of a deeper flavour, I suppose. You wouldn't really call it fresh and citrusy, but put them together, and it's
so
rather delicious.
It's quite lovely.
It's so simple, yet so yummy.
I have to say, it is lovely. It's not beating a Red Hook for me.
No?
I would still go with the Red Hook over this one.
I would go with the Red Hook, but it's just different. I think Red Hook is different because the maraschino cherry is a really distinctive flavour and it's very delicious.
If I had a choice of the two, I wouldn't choose.
I like this one though. I do really like. This is very quaffable.
It.
I think it's the citrusiness that makes you kind of go, "Oh, it's not as strong as it is," and then you're like, "Glag glag 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 glag."
Yeah. Oh, I'm dead.
No, I'm a fan of that with the triple sec and the lemon and the bourbon in there. I like it. A man of war, yet gentle and lilting. Well, that's a resounding success with a bullet. Yay!
With a bullet. Just the one.
Okay, well, with our man of war cocktails firmly in hand, huddled towards us so no one else gets at them. Is it time for a story, Nick?
It is definitely time for a story. Definitely time. Time for a story.
Time for a story.
Gather round, children.
Okay.
It's Uncle Nick's story time.
That's terrifying.
Yes, I'm going to do that in that voice all the way through. For the
Yes.
next hour, it's me going, oh, they died horribly.
I'm still just picturing you at the door of a gingerbread house beckoning kids in. Not to eat them, just maybe to clean or something. Just go, look at my curtains. Small hands to polish my new mirror. But yes, anyway, we're gathered round.
So, I mean, there's been a great deal of research and much Googling of what to do. And as I said on the Patreon one this week, it's quite exciting having such a huge variety of stories. It's quite difficult to decide which one to cover.
You're like a kid in a murdery candy store.
Exactly. But we've settled on this one. And I've decided to keep it relatively local.
Ooh, okay.
This week. Well, local is we're heading back to London.
London.
We haven't been to London for a while.
Haven't.
We've been having lots of foreign adventures. We're back in London for the story of the Bermondsey Horror.
Oh,
Now, I knew Sinead would never cover this story, so I was quite safe. And it's all mine. Would you like to explain why?
because I can't say that particular borough. I can't say it. It's a mental block. It's one of those ones where it's stupid. It defies logic. That borough, I cannot help but say Bermondsey every single time. I just see the Mon and it just looms out at me like the giant Q in NyQuil. It's just Bermondsey. But I can't, and every time I have to ask, how do you say it right? What is it? Bermondsey. I mean, to be fair, I did have a stutter as a child, so you're just mocking me now.
This is true. This is true. But we are going for the story of the Bermondsey Horror.
You see, you said that, and I thought you were right. I was like, yeah, because Bermondsey's wrong. Is the Bermondsey Horror me?
Well, just before your time.
Okay, good. Okay, so the horror.
Yes, back then.
Please do write in people with words that you can't say. Write them in the comments and then we'll try and guess how you've said them wrong.
So we start our tale with Maria de Roux. Now, not very Londonish, I know, but stick with me. Maria was born in Switzerland, but she emigrated to the UK at a young age. And in her 20s, she started working as a maid.
Okay.
So we are back in the Victorian era, the eras of
good.
maids and servants and all sorts of that shenanigans, which does not exist anymore.
Well, you do have maids still.
Yes, not quite the same.
Not quite the same. No, we obviously went to that in our mind. We weren't thinking of a modern maid who was just sitting on Snapchat going, yeah, I'm vaguely dusting.
No. And Maria is very good at her job as a maid.
Was she made for it?
Oh, that's good. Nicely done there. But no doubt her French accent and her language skills help her stand out from the crowd.
So she's basically a sexy French maid.
She's a sexy French maid, but she's bilingual. She speaks French and English, relatively uncommon at such a time. She soon makes her way up to the top and ends up as a lady's maid.
Ooh, prestigious, yes.
Indeed, to the wealthy Lady Ballantyre, daughter of the Duchess of Sutherland. So, quite fancy.
Good God, not the Duchess.
No, the Duchess, the daughter of the Duchess's daughter.
Duchess, such as the Honourable such and such and such.
Such as Lady Ballantyre. Now, I mean, a lady's maid is a position of quite some standing. They could enjoy a lifestyle that was way beyond that of ordinary women of the time, especially if you worked for the upper echelons, as Maria did.
Yeah.
And it was while employed there that she developed quite a taste for the luxurious lifestyle and the finery that she was surrounded by.
It's a coveted position.
Absolutely.
You're going to be very comfortable living in a nice house. And again, when your mistress is away, you get to swan about her rooms, putting on all her stuff, lounging around on silk sheets.
So you say that, but if the mistress was away, then you would be away as well.
Oh yeah,
because she got to travel all over the place. She got to visit the great country estates of the nobility.
That's even better.
She would accompany her lady on trips abroad. So she really had a quite a coveted position.
Yeah, not bad at all.
It was on one of these trips abroad that she made the acquaintance of Patrick O'Connor, who worked as a customs officer at the London docks. So probably sorting out her ladyship's baggage or something like that. She developed a rapport with Patrick.
She met a man down the docks.
Down the docks.
Down the docks, always good. Sounds like a good Irishman as well.
Oh, indeed. Yes, absolutely. Patrick O'Connor.
Patrick O'Connor. You can't ask for a more Irish name than that.
You really can't, no.
Hello, Irish stereotype. Enter from the left.
Now, Maria and Patrick quickly take a fancy to each other. Patrick, obviously enamoured by this young, beautiful woman, and Maria is much taken with him. Older, wealthier man.
Oh, okay.
And suggests that he contacts her next time he's in London. Get in touch. We'll see what happens.
Oh, that's nice. Leave your calling card. Oh, this is lovely. This is a lovely tale. I love this. This is like understairs romance. Oh, yes.
And he did exactly that. A couple of months later, O'Connor arrives at the house where she is living with her mistress, and the two of them go out to dinner.
Oh, nice.
It's a delightful time. Very civilised.
Oh, off to McDonald's.
Maria tells them that she has also recently met someone else.
Oh, the bitch. No, you know what she's damn well entitled to.
Well, indeed. She's met a chap called Frederick George Manning, who works as a guard on the Great Western Railway.
Oh, no.
No doubt, again, dealing with some other of her ladyship's travels, baggage on and off trains and things like that. She's encountered Frederick Manning.
So she's covering the trains and the sea.
Well, she goes wherever her ladyship
Train
goes.
guard and the docks, yes. But she's meeting men at every port and every station.
At every port, absolutely. The taxi cab is rife. But it seems that O'Connor is not dissuaded by this news. And within a fortnight, she has received a proposal from both men. Now, Maria has a decision to make. Which one is going to make the better husband? And, quite importantly to Maria, which one had the most money?
Yes. Would you go for the guy who works down the docks, or would you go for the train guard? Yeah, interesting.
Frederick Manning is the same age as her. By accounts, he's a quiet, reserved chap. He has a steady but modest income from his work on the railway, whereas O'Connor is quite a bit older. He's full of charm. He's known to be a bit of a heavy drinker.
Great.
But he does have a lot of cash.
Nice.
He's quite a wealthy man.
Sign me up.
Choices. Which way do you go?
Maybe the quiet one is a dynamite in the sack, though.
You never know. And Frederick does promise Maria that he may not seem like much at the moment, but he is soon to come into money from an inheritance. And that once that arrives, they will never have to worry again.
Ooh, red flag.
Well, yeah, well, indeed.
I just need to get my shit together and it'll be fine. Yeah. Run, women, run!
In their courtship, Maria sort of discovers that O'Connor, he's already quite a wealthy chap. He seems to have a large amount of money invested in railways. Actually, he owns a lot of stocks and things like that.
Okay.
So he's got a bit of an income, and he's got a bit of a business brain to him. But for whatever reason, the promise of an inheritance wins out.
Oh,
and Maria and Frederick marry
in
St James's Church, Piccadilly, in May 1847.
Okay, I mean,
so yeah, that's the way she's gone.
It just seems a bit foolish, short-sighted.
Well,
yeah, but young love.
She seems like quite a confident woman, knows her own mind. Frederick's quite, I think meek might be a bit over the top, but he's not quite as forceful, so perhaps could be controlled a bit more, whereas O'Connor seems to be quite confident himself and outgoing, likes a bit of a drink as well. So would those two really outgoing, confident personalities clash? She's thinking,
true.
I can probably, I'll just tell Frederick what to do and he'll do it.
He's a Capricorn, she's a Pisces, yeah. So
she's gone that route.
Weak, meek man, I shall control you.
Exactly.
What really attracted me to you is the fact that you don't say anything back to me.
Yes. So, pretty much. Soon after the wedding, Frederick gives up his job on the railway and decides they're going to start a new life together, and he takes over the lease on a pub, the White Hart Inn in Taunton. Somerset, in sort of the west of England.
Somerset.
However, this career change does not go well. He is entirely useless as a publican. He doesn't have that sort of rapport with customers. I think
He's silent and meek. He's just standing in the back, terrified.
I think probably to be a publican at that time, you need to be quite forceful and kick drunk people out and all this sort of stuff. And he's not equipped to handle that sort of role.
You know who would have been great at that? Paddy O'Connor. Paddy O'Connor would have been there.
Exactly.
Rolling up his sleeves.
But within a year, the pair have to sell up and move back to London. Now, I don't know if Maria is still working at this point, but despite the failure of the pub venture, they do manage to scrape together enough cash to afford a fairly stylish home in Minerva Place in Bermondsey, an area in the southeast of London. Maria has also realised by now that this inheritance that Frederick has promised was going to appear was entirely fictional.
You see the lies.
The lies. And
don't gamble on it.
She is stuck with this relatively uninspiring man, earning not a lot of money, and she seriously begins to think that she has made a serious mistake. When Maria returns to London, she reaches out to her old flame Patrick, and the two of them rekindle their friendship.
Sexy friendship.
Sexy friendship.
Yeah.
Maria perhaps realising that she was never going to get the life that she had always wanted with Frederick, and that while she may not be able to marry Patrick, she can certainly make the most of his money.
Well, okay. I have such an image in my head of what Patrick looks like and what Frederick looks like. Patrick is strong and strapping and tall, and
he works
salt
on the
and
docks.
Exactly.
So,
he's got a good kind of beard going on. He's Irish.
Yeah.
He can drink, but he can handle it, and he looks after himself. Frederick's just some weedy, thin, kind of pasty, frightened of the sun kind of creature.
Englishman.
Yes. I couldn't possibly go out.
Can I have some coal, please?
It's drinking up time is now.
I think you're not far off the truth.
Yeah, fuck him.
Now, Maria and Patrick meet up increasingly frequently. They are often seen around town together. Patrick's wealth enables Maria to visit places she'd always want to, and she never would with Frederick. And he lavishes sort of nice clothes and gifts upon her. The affair, it was an affair, was an open secret. Patrick was a regular visitor to the Mannings' home in Bermondsey, often coming to dinner with both Frederick and Maria.
Oh.
Which I'm sure delighted Frederick. I wrote that and I thought, well, perhaps it did. Perhaps that was his thing.
You went straight for that, did you?
Yeah.
He was just quiet and like to watch.
Yeah,
that was it.
Sort of a bit of a cuckold thing going on. I don't know.
Immediately just like menage a trois that situation.
Yeah.
Again, I'm still picturing long dining table and Frederick at the end just picking at his one piece of lettuce leaf. And the two of them at the other end just playing footsie very obviously under the table while he grabbed her boob.
Subtle.
Oh no, would you help me get this roast out of the oven downstairs in the cellar? Of course I will. You stay there, Frederick.
Yes. I think that's exactly how it
but
went.
You've just gone for Frederick's into it. He's just there for it, stirring his tea while watching.
Who knows? I don't judge. As the affair goes on, Maria makes up her mind that she has to get her hands on O'Connor's money.
Oh.
She had discovered that not only does he own large stocks in railways, but that he's actually also a part-time moneylender. And the eye-watering interest rates that he charges have increased his wealth quite substantially.
Oh, Paddy.
But how to get her hands on it?
I think she's doing all right at the moment.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's what you would think. She's got two men on the go. She's got her husband at home doing the dishes. She's got her lover gallivanting around town, having a jolly time, getting gifts and all that stuff.
Yeah, lavishing her with goods. She's well looked after. She's okay.
Absolutely. I mean, why? It sounds like a pretty good place to be honest. So,
unless Paddy O'Connor, unless he's not very nice.
Well,
attracted to the money and the lifestyle, but he's turning out to be a bit of a dick.
I mean, as we said before, he has got the reputation of a bit of a heavy drinker.
You suppose so do we, though.
Yeah, but also, that's true. I don't know, but
maybe a little bit heavy drinker, a little loose with his fists. You never know.
Yes, I think back then.
I'd like to paint him as a lovely, heroic, sexy character, but maybe he's a bit of a dick. Either way,
they're having a jolly time.
No, but she's having her cake and eating it.
Oh, indeed she is. On the 8th of August, a note is delivered to O'Connor's workplace, inviting him for dinner with Maria. Her husband would be out, she said. Probably with like a winky face emoji at the bottom.
Or just mwahahahaha written and then crossed out.
Yeah.
Just aubergine emojis drawn on.
Yes. But it would seem that he did not get the subtle subtext of the note. And Patrick arrives at Maria's that evening with a friend named Walshy.
Or did he get the subtle hints of the note?
My head also went there as well, but I'm thinking... perhaps...
Such an insight into Nick's mind.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it, really?
He's like, let's bring a friend. His husband's away. Walshy. Okay, nice. Walshy.
Walshy. But it does rather thwart her plans for the evening.
Oh, right. Oh, damn.
As the men were leaving later that evening after dinner, a delightful dinner, no doubt, she whispers to O'Connor that he should return the next evening, and that if he came alone, there might be more on the menu than just dinner.
Is that true?
That's true. That's exactly, yes.
Is that what she said? Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
Indeed. Ooh.
Oh, imagine she'd invited him over and she wasn't expecting dinner. And then he turns up with a friend and she has to cook dinner. She's just like, fucking anything.
This romantic meal for two. She's got to like stretch for three. All the sexy, the petals up the stairs and things. She's got to get rid of those because his mates come round too.
Oh God. And he's probably eating them out of house and home if he's another Irishman. He's like, come on, we'll have a big feed. I'll have that wine there. This sexy bed area. I'll have a wee lie down here. She's just yelling at him as he goes out the door. There was more on the menu than dinner.
Come back tomorrow. I need sex.
Oh, we can all relate.
The following evening, O'Connor is seen by friends crossing London Bridge towards Bermondsey and is noticed by neighbours smoking a cigar by the Mannings' back door before he goes in.
Okay.
Maria tells the man to wash up before dinner and leads him into the kitchen towards the sink. O'Connor turns towards the basin to wash his hand. Maria places a pistol behind his ear and shoots him point blank range. Straight through the head.
Oh, good God, that's not subtle.
Not subtle at all. Frederick appears from where he had been hiding and goes into the kitchen, only to find that despite having a bullet through his head, the man is still alive and is trying to speak. Later in the trial, in Frederick's own words, he says, "I never liked him, so I battered his head with a ripping chisel." Crowbar.
Oh, God. Oh, he crowbarred him. Oh, bloody hell.
He crowbarred him. She shot him through the head. He crowbarred him to death.
Oh, I suppose if you have a low caliber gun, if it was just a lady's pistol, not to be sexist, but there's the kind of guns at that time you guys go, ow, stop it.
I mean, this did, well, we shall continue.
Yes. And I also like the idea she said, wash up before dinner. And I very much was picturing, again, can you just wash your bits, please, over by the sink?
Wash your bits before dinner. Wash the boys in the sink and then you're fine. Give them a rinse, and then we'll get to it.
Rinse the potatoes. Okay, yeah.
The couple bury his body in a grave they have already dug below the flagstones in the kitchen. Then they cover him in quicklime before replacing the tiles. The pair then sit and eat their dinner in silence in the same kitchen above the freshly dead body of Maria's lover.
Ooh, that's a tableau, isn't it?
It really is, isn't it? The single bullet was eventually recovered from inside Patrick's skull, having lodged itself above his right eye. So it went in the back, through his brain, and got stuck on the inside of his skull.
Oh, that's not pleasant.
Not fun. The following day, Maria goes off to O'Connor's lodgings, manages to con her way into his rooms, where she systematically goes through every cupboard, every drawer, every pocket of clothing, stripping the place bare of everything of value, including all his share certificates and any jewellery, watches, coins that she can put her hands on. She goes back the following day to make sure she hasn't missed anything.
Okay.
just to be doubly sure that there's no hidden treasure anywhere else. 2 days pass, And the Mannings start to think they've got away with this. But then they get a fright when two of O'Connor's customs colleagues from the docks come to the house looking for him. Apparently he told his friends that he was going there on the evening of the 9th to have a meal.
Yeah, that's exactly what he told his friends, isn't it? Down the docks. I'm going to go to this woman's house to have a meal. Whoa. Said, yeah, he talked a lot about shagging you. So
yeah. Maria admits that he had indeed eaten with them, but the day before, on the 8th, when he came with his friend Walshy, not seen him since then. And off the work colleagues go, but leaving Maria and Frederick thoroughly unnerved and increasingly paranoid. The couple eventually managed to convince themselves that these two men were in fact not Patrick's work colleagues, but detectives in disguise.
Oh, right.
The paranoia has reached such a point that they think they're being spied upon from all angles.
Well, yeah, I guess you would.
And they decide to leave London immediately.
Yes, leave this troublesome borough that we can't pronounce.
Maria sends Frederick off to try and sell their furniture, their belongings, cash it in as quick as he can, get the money, we can go. As soon as he leaves the house, Maria packs 4 trunks with everything of value and orders a cab and scarpers to King's Cross.
Oh, she's left him.
She's double-crossed him.
No.
She's run with all the cash, all the valuables that she's taken out of Patrick O'Connor's lodgings. She's scarpered with them.
Oh, she a bitch. Oh, she a nasty bitch.
She goes to King's Cross railway station, where she catches a train to Edinburgh. When Frederick returns to the house, he discovers Maria and anything of worth has gone, and he realised that he has been double-crossed and betrayed, and he decides to flee as well, and he decides to leave the country, and he goes by train and ship to Jersey.
Oh, very nice.
Channel Islands.
Very
so
nice.
Completely opposite directions.
Yeah, exactly.
To Maria.
Yeah. Probably a good idea. Jersey, very nice. I think.
I've never been.
I've never been. I've seen lovely videos. It's very nice.
O'Connor's colleagues, who were in fact just worker colleagues and not secret police, had by this time reported him missing to the actual police.
Oh, good.
And expressed their suspicions and weird goings on at the Mannings' place. They said they were sure that he said he was going there on the 9th. The police decide to pay a visit to Minerva Place and discover the house abandoned. Searching through the house to see what's going on, an eagle-eyed detective notices that the mortar between 2 of the flagstones in the kitchen is still loose and still damp. Oh. The flagstones are lifted, revealing the battered, bloody, partially dissolved, thanks to the quicklime, body of Patrick O'Connor. Oof. Alarm bells go off throughout London. The call goes out to track down Frederick and Maria Manning. Neighbours say that they've seen Maria leaving in a cab with her trunks full of her ill-gotten gains, and her movements are traced to King's Cross Station, where guards report that a couple of days before, a woman with a strong French accent, matching Maria's description, had boarded the 6:15 train to Edinburgh under the name Mrs. Smith.
Very, very British. Very,
very British.
Yeah. My name is Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith. No one will ever suspect me. Bun. I love the fact in all of these accounts that there are hundreds of witnesses. Not hundreds, but, enough witnesses. People are standing around going, yes, we did notice this woman boarding a train. That's not unusual.
You're in a train station.
Yeah, you're in a train station. I saw this woman specifically at this time. Maybe she's just massive cans and everyone was looking at her.
Well, I mean, obviously...
In a sexy French maid's outfit.
Sexy French maid's outfit going on.
Yeah, you couldn't miss her.
Yeah.
You couldn't miss her. Yeah, she definitely boarded that. I looked for a long time.
The London detectives telegraph their Scottish counterparts to be on the lookout for this woman. Ooh. But it turns out Maria is already in custody.
What? Okay.
She has tried to sell some of O'Connor's railway stock to a broker to free up some cash. But the brokerage firms have already been alerted that some railway stocks have been stolen. They've been telegraphed. Yeah, they've been telegraphed directly, going these stock numbers have gone missing. Yeah. Beware. And when asked how she has come into these stocks, she tells them that she has inherited them from her father, Mr. Robertson. This doesn't really seem to fit with her thick French accent. Her father, Mr. Robertson, she's Mrs. Smith. She's obviously French. And it arouses the suspicion of the brokers, and they report her to the police. Uh-huh. And she is arrested for what they think for fraud.
Oh, yeah.
But then the cable comes from London. much more serious than that.
Oi.
Maria is returned to the capital, where she is charged with murder and held in Horsemonger Lane jail.
Ooh, that's a terrible name.
I know. Frederick is able to evade arrest for another week before he is caught. He's staying in St Helier on Jersey, but he begins to draw attention to himself by drinking huge quantities of brandy each day.
And he's a thin, slight man.
Yeah, he's obviously got some troubles because he's knocking this back. And there is a chance encounter with a man who he had known in London. And as soon as he has this encounter, he flees again to the town of St Lawrence. The man who had spotted Manning read about the case in the papers when he returned to London and lost no time in going to the police going, he's in Jersey. I saw him there last week.
Nice. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Yeah. And on August the 21st, Frederick is arrested. They're moved from Horsemonger Lane Jail to Newgate Prison for the trial, which opens at the Old Bailey on Thursday the 25th of October. The trial lasts 2 days. Frederick and Maria, they are individually represented. They have their own defence counsel.
Well, yeah.
Who try to shift the blame onto each other. Because the one counsel is saying Maria did it, Maria's counsel saying Frederick did it, and they seem to expect that what the other one is going to take responsibility for this. He's going to fall on their sword and say, yes, it's all me, and let the other one go free. That does not happen.
No, you think maybe there are some cases where if you assign blame and you stack up the evidence, you hope someone else will crack. That's usually after months and months and months of a very big murder trial. After 2 days, just shows they went, no, they did it. They did it.
She did it. She told me
she did it. Come on, admit it. They've just got a big stick going, come on.
When it wasn't successful at all. At the end of the trial, it takes the jury 45 minutes to find them both guilty.
It's again another case of 1 minute of agreeing that they're both guilty and 44 minutes of enjoying the lovely, lovely spread that was put on.
Exactly. Enjoying the buffet and going, we need to make this seem like much longer.
Exactly. More sandwiches and more gin, please. Yes.
Now, during the brief trial, Maria had held her head high, maintaining her innocence throughout. And as the judge sentenced them both to death, she entirely loses her composure. She screams and she rages, railing against the judge, and she launches a furious tirade against the jury, claiming that such an injustice would never have happened in Switzerland. The British are all bastards for convicting me like this. It would never have happened.
In Switzerland, I really think that they probably would have convicted.
I think it would have done, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
The Swiss are known for their efficiency.
They are taken back to Newgate and then across London to Horsemonger Lane Jail to await their executions. She apparently asked the warders escorting her how they had liked her performance in court.
Wow. I like it.
Probably all an act. But how had she done? They were scheduled to die in 2 weeks. But Maria refuses to give up the fight. She writes to Queen Victoria, appealing for mercy.
Of course.
In her letters, she addresses the Queen as an old friend. My dear Victoria.
Oh, that's a little bit informal, isn't it?
Now, it is, but I think perhaps in Maria's mind, because her previous employer, Lady Ballantyre, her mother was the Duchess of Sutherland, who had been a friend of Queen Victoria's, quite legitimately.
Okay.
And Maria had indeed been at a number of fancy events where the Queen had been in attendance.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, she was just a maid, so she would have never have met the Queen or probably even seen her, let alone spoken to her.
Even if you're not on first name basis with the Queen.
Exactly.
It's just, I've met you once. All right, Vic, how's it going?
I saw you in a carriage coming up to the house out of a window.
And we connected.
But we connected. Can you get me out of this? Unsurprisingly, she doesn't hear back.
Good God.
Now, in desperation, she attempts to take her own life.
Oh.
Now, this was a relatively common occurrence in prisons before they're executed. Can I get it over and done with easier, more quickly? And women sentenced to death are surrounded by wardresses.
Yes.
Not warders, but wardresses. 24 hours a day. Maria is forced to share her tiny cell with 3 other women whose only job is to prevent her from harming herself while she waits for execution. One evening, stupidly, all the women are asleep at the same time. It seems unwise. And Maria attempts to strangle herself and to slit her own throat with her fingernail. She sharpens her fingernail and she attempts to jab it into her throat to kill herself. The noise and the commotion wakes up these women, and it takes all three of them to restrain Maria and to prevent her from harming herself, which they do successfully. On the morning of Tuesday, the 13th of November 1849, Frederick and Maria Manning are led to the roof of Horsemonger Lane Jail. The raised roof is the perfect stage to allow 30,000 spectators to get a perfect view of this this execution. One writer from the Times writes the following, and I'm going to read this out.
Yeah.
I was a witness to the execution at Horsemonger Lane this morning. I went there with the intention of observing the crowd gathered to behold it, and I had excellent opportunities of doing so at intervals throughout the night, and continuously from daybreak until after the spectacle was over. I believe that a sight so inconceivably awful as the wickedness and levity of the immense crowd could be imagined by no man, and could be presented in no heathen land under the sun. When I came upon the scene at midnight, the shrillness of the cries and the howls that were raised from time to time made my blood run cold. When the day dawned, thieves, low prostitutes, ruffians and vagabonds of every kind flocked onto the ground, with every variety of offensive and foul behaviour. Fightings, faintings, whistling, brutal jokes, tumultuous demonstrations of indecent delight. When the sun rose brightly, as it did, it gilded thousands upon thousands of upturned faces, so inexpressibly odious in their brutal mirth or callousness that a man had cause to feel ashamed of the face he wore, and to shrink from himself as fashioned in the image of the devil.
Ooh.
Now that writer is Charles Dickens.
Yes! Yes!
Who was there observing this spectacle.
I was thinking during this, I was like, oh, I bet you this is the kind of case that Charles Dickens would cover. And I was thinking, oh, we must find more cases that Charles Dickens wrote about. Yeah, there he is. It was
written by Charles
Dickens. He did love to say about any kind of case, oh, how could anyone stand to look at this sort of thing? How could anyone stand to look at this, these hangings and this justice being meted out? And it seems like he wrote that about a lot of trials.
Well,
he went to a lot of them.
I mean, also he based, there's a character in Bleak House that is based upon Maria Manning. I think one of the maids,
I've not read Bleak
Lady
House.
like Hortensia or something like that, is based upon Maria Manning. And from the witness that he saw her execution.
It does sound like a night of debauchery, quite
frankly. It really does. I mean,
that Charles Dickens was just watching from a rooftop while just sketching it the whole time.
I mean, the execution is in the morning, but the crowds have started to gather from the previous day.
Well, then
they're in for the night.
Yeah, public executions were a cause for it was the only entertainment you had.
Well, absolutely.
Equivalent, think of Netflix or any kind of live sporting event. Then people are going to turn up the night before. Low prostitutes, I do like that as well.
Low prostitutes. Your high prostitutes, your good class prostitutes, they wouldn't be seen dead in such a place.
No, exactly. But all the others with the ruffians are out for a good night, and then you end the night with a hanging.
Yeah, absolutely. As the couple ascend the scaffold, Maria is dressed immaculately. Ankle-length black satin dress, edged in black lace. She has a black silk handkerchief covering her face, tied around her face, underneath her veil. The crowd go quiet, and when the trap opened and the couple dropped, a huge cheer goes up that is heard across London.
Ooh.
They hung for an hour before being cut down and buried within the prison yard. It is reported hugely on the next day. Many of the other reports mainly focused on what she was wearing.
I like it. Death, but make it fashion.
Death, but make it stylish. What was she wearing?
What was she wearing? They're shouting that out as she goes up the gallows. Who are you wearing? Who are you wearing? Yes, it's Versace for the gallows. Mm.
Yes, that's what people were worried about. And it's the story of Maria and Frederick Manning. Yay! The Bermonds and the Bermondsey Horror.
The Bermondsey Horror. Yes, very good. I did it. Yay. Oh, good story. Now, it's interesting they say the Bermondsey Horror.
It's not that horrifying.
No, it's not that horrifying.
No,
I would
agree.
expect more hacking of limbs and faces being torn off.
Absolutely.
But maybe I'm
one dead person. No, I entirely agree. When I saw that, I thought, ooh, perhaps there's like lots of dead people. But no, I mean, one person shot. I mean, it's a sad thing, obviously. But I don't think it quite warrants the title of horror.
No, probably at the time it was just Oh, what a horror to have been found. Yeah, another murder.
Maybe so. Yes, maybe so.
And a maid doing this, a woman of lower class doing this. Oh, she could come into your house and do the same thing. I love the story there because it's a proper, there was all sorts of characters in there and there was all sorts of emotions and everything. Oh, yeah, I was in it for the ride. Yeah, Paddy O'Connor, he seemed like a nice man. Just shag him and marry him. Just
didn't even have to marry him, just shag him, get him to buy you nice things, continue your
sugar
unexciting, well, precisely, life with Frederick. You could have had a very pleasant life, but no, you got greedy. You got greedy, Maria.
Exactly, and the two of them hang together.
Yes.
Hang and drop there.
There is a report as well that they reconcile on the way to the gallows. They kissed and reconciled.
Oh,
on the way as they walked up to the gallows.
That's quite sad, really, isn't it? Oh, it's a good story. Oh, now I'm thinking. I do love the Charles Dickens reports because it's not the first time that we've had reports from Charles Dickens, who was a journalist before he was a novelist, and while he was a novelist as well, and was sent out and had, the most magnificent turn of, but sent out to report on, I suppose, to provide social commentary.
Yes, absolutely.
On the events of the day or events of the time. And yeah, there was a lot of cases of murdering cases that we've come across in this podcast that, Charles Dickens talked about that. You think it happens more than you think. And him talking, going, oh, it's awful, it's the worst thing, the worst examples of man, going, well, stop going to these things, Charles. Stop standing there watching the prostitutes shagging everyone, going, yeah, they were there at night time, I was there until morning.
It's also been the worst examples of man for the past 3 months. Every Saturday for the past 3 months, you've seen the worst examples of man. So
the worst examples of man, and yet suddenly, oh my God, the next time there's the worst examples of this Sunday. People, can you pronounce Bermondsey?
Nice.
Yay!
Well done.
Yes. Yeah, I've done it. This will all go out of my head later. Yes, do write in with the words that you can't pronounce. But what do you think? What do you think of the Bermondsey Horror? What do you think of maids, sexy French maids trying to kill people? I know I'm painting her as a sexy French maid. The whole way through that story, I was like, she's still wearing her maid's outfit, talking in a French accent. That's why everyone would notice
because she was a sexy Swiss maid.
French-speaking Swiss. I mean, it's sexy nonetheless. The Swiss are the best ones.
Excellent watches.
Excellent watches.
Very good timekeeping on the Swiss maids.
Sexy Swiss maid wandering around killing people. Well, what do you think? Do you know the story? Do you have theories? Do you have pictures in your head of how all these people looked as they were enacting these crimes? And yes, dead with a bullet to the head. The first story we've done with a gunshot, really.
It is, yes, it is,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And that was the kid, and a crowbar nicely finishing it off as
and
well.
Finish it off with a crowbar, so you got your money's worth.
And again, I think that we would feel hard done by if it was just a shooting.
Well, yeah,
we want to see a clubbing as well.
Well, exactly. You got to vary it a bit. You got to have something a bit more interesting.
And then sprinkled with quicklime. Quicklime is also always a good option when disposing of a body. So tell us what you think of the story. Tell us more stories from this era. More Victorian murders, more early murders, more slightly later murders with weird, strange stories behind them and exciting killing mechanisms. I'm just going to go with that. Killing mechanisms or methods.
Methods.
No, mechanisms. Mechanisms. It's more
you
scientific.
You are making it sound like a big contraption going on with cogs.
Tell me that you don't want a story that
involves
I really
that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Anything with a contraption that went wrong and involved these people being caught because it was too ambitious. Send us more of your stories and ideas. And for goodness sake, try a Man of War. Because, God damn it, that's delicious.
It's a tasty drink. Yeah, I've knocked back 2, so hurrah.
As have I. And you can probably tell by now.
Yes, this is why I had to repeat many of my row words.
No one will notice that because I will have edited those bits out and I just leave me rambling at the end going, yeah. No, the Man of War, delicious drink. And you'll probably have, by now, dear listeners, most of the ingredients in your cupboard. Mix one up. Tell us what you think about it. Tell us what you think. It's really, really lovely. We urge you to get into a bourbon cocktail if you are like us. Previously, they've only ever been kind of, light, not bourbon whiskey, not our thing. Oh, the bourbon cocktails have been a revelation. And this is a new one. I love that. I'm going to make 9 more in a minute.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't have to work tomorrow.
And you, with my bullet going, bullet.
But I think I'm justified in that every now and then.
No, you're not.
We do this every time. If we throw in a weird ingredient in inspiration, we give each other shit for it. It's what we live for.
That's true. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
If you haven't already, people, come and join us on Patreon. A new episode every single week, as well as more bonus content. Lots of fun to be had.
This week's one was especially good, I have to say.
It was very good. It was very
funny.
Nick has gone wild on season 2. He's so excited and so happy, just finding the weirdest shit possible.
Yep, I like the weird ones.
Exactly, and it was a journey. It was a journey that we took on Monday, people. Thanks for listening, guys. We have been the people inside the Poisoner's Cabinet. We will see you next week. And remember, your loved ones are trying to kill you.
Bye.